This is episode 17 of Oluswole, the podcast on a budget. I'm excited to welcome our guest. He is a rap enthusiast and a STEM whiz. Neel, what's good?
What's up, Timmy? Nice to see you, man. Honor to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you on. So just for the listener, because there's a high chance that most of the listeners don't know how I know Neel, but basically we both grew up in Houston, and we went to the same elementary school. Did you join in kindergarten?
Yeah, straight kindergarten. Yeah, K through 5.
Okay. So I joined in kindergarten. I don't know if we were in the same class, but maybe we probably were.
Hankins?
But no, I had Rogers.
Oh my God, this is a blast from the past. Yeah, it would have been different then.
Yeah. But we were, I think from first grade through third grade, we were in the same classes and stuff. So
That sounds
we
about
were,
right. That sounds about right. Yeah. You had Mr. Beck a few times.
yeah,
That's the
yeah, Mr.
man.
Beck.
Mr.
Yeah,
Beck is the man.
the GOAT. Yeah,
That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, we were classmates and we were pretty good friends. Did name that book together. It was just a competition,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Remember,
Uh,
you introduced me to Cheesy Mac. You remember that?
who?
Cheesy Mac?
What's that?
It's a book.
I can't
Comic
remember,
book that you
dog.
drew on. You bought it the day before your flight, and you came to school with this little comic book. And I was just fascinated by it because it was like it was like the equivalent of like a diary of a wimpy kid do it yourself kind of book. But
Uh,
I don't know if it was Cheesy Mac actually. It might have been some other book. But I remember you came in and you let me draw on a few pages, and I never saw you again. Like such a real goodbye.
that sounds like something I would do because I was really into like those Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, those Big Nate books.
Big
I'm
Nate,
looking at,
that's what it was. Big Nate, not
yeah,
Cheesy
yeah,
Mac.
yeah,
Big Nate, that's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah, yeah,
Bingo. That's what it was. Big Nate. Oh my
yeah,
God, wow. Yeah, Big Nate's the one.
yeah. Big Nate would make more sense. I can't remember that, but that's crazy that you remember. I mean,
Dude,
yeah.
I remember because that same night I went to the store and bought one for myself too.
Okay, I
Yeah,
put you on.
you put you on. You put me on, man. I can't deny it. I can't deny it. Might get held over my head for for a little while, but I can't deny it.
Uh-huh.
No, it was a fun time. Fun time.
Fun times for sure. Yeah. So you right now you're a rising sophomore at Stanford. Shout out to you. It was when you got into Stanford. I think you around that time you created an Instagram, and then I think you showed up my suggested, and then I followed you. So we connected through IG. But I want to take it back to the not take it back. I want to take it back to memory lane. You know, take us to the good old days.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah. So there's the spelling bee, right, in our elementary school. And it's basically
Hmm.
competition for people in third grade through fifth grade. Our school's elementary school, so it ends at fifth grade. And I remember it's usually fourth and fifth graders who win the competition because they're the oldest, right? I
Typically,
remember,
typically.
yeah. So I remember we were both in that spelling bee in third grade. And my sister was also in it. She was in fifth grade.
It was always neck and neck between us. I do remember those days. Like
Yeah, it was.
in class, it was always neck and neck.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit of friendly competition. Good old days.
A bit of friendly competition. I liked it. I loved it, man. I loved competing with y'all. This spelling was such an like I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. It's either niche or niche. One of the two. How do you say Niche?
I
That
say niche, but I don't know if that's like the only way to say it.
yeah. I every time I say that, I always like okay, which one is right? But yeah, it was one of those activities where it was so niche where you only had a certain amount of students competing in it, like a certain group of kids. And I think that was where you and I think the first time you and I met with it had to okay, maybe not met, but at least like got to know each other was in the spelling bee. I can't imagine there was another time where like, oh Timmy, hey Neil, that kind of thing. I believe that, it all started with the spelling bee.
I can't remember, but I mean that would make sense because, like you said, we were always, we were always doing something competitive. You know what I mean? It was kind of what drove us, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. No, it was a good influence for sure. Hundred like no doubt about it.
yeah, but this particular spelling bee, I remember, like you said, we were always neck and neck, and I remember we were both in third grade. And I came into that spelling bee thinking, okay, I just want to make it as far as possible, and beat my sister, who's 2 years older than me.
Hey, that's facts. It's always about
Yeah,
sibling rivalry.
of course, of course. So she got knocked out in one of the earlier rounds,
Uh-huh.
and the final, it was, I don't know if you remember, it was me versus you. We were
Yeah,
the
yeah,
youngest
yeah.
people.
You remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, there's the article about it. Do you remember that article?
yeah. Well, they didn't mention me, but I remember reading about
No, they
you.
did. I'm pretty sure too, but there's no way they wouldn't have because you would have gone to the district with me if you were the runner-up then. So you would have been in the article for sure.
No, I didn't go to district, but I came second though.
You didn't go to, there's no way because every school had alternates.
Maybe in later years, but at least when I was in third grade, I remember I came second, but I didn't go to district.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because, huh, I'm not sure why that's the case. I would imagine that they would bring alternates. I remember distinctly having an alternate. She was 1 year younger than me actually when I went in fifth grade.
Mm,
And I remember competing with her because I got knocked out and then she got knocked down the round. She got knocked out like either one or two rounds right after I did.
mm.
So I don't know, man. I always remember there being alternates, but I guess not. Maybe that first third grade year, maybe they didn't send any alternates. That doesn't seem right though. I feel like I mean obviously you didn't go, but it's a little weird now that I think back on it.
Yeah, it might have been something they introduced in later years, but I do remember a lot of my Kirk memories are kind of hazy, but I do remember this one quite vividly because the
Hmm.
librarian pronounced my elimination word wrong.
What was
And
your elimination word?
to this day, I still can't remember what it was.
Oh man.
And I just completely butchered it. And then your winning word was feverishly, and then you won the
How do you
competition.
remember that, Timmy? How do you remember that, bro? You got a freaking golden memory. It's like a computer up there. That was the word. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have no earthly idea how you remembered feverishly. I only remembered it because I'd won. If that wasn't the winning word, I would not have remembered it. Like I don't know how you how you still stored that. That's insane.
yeah. I mean, when you come second, you're so close to getting gold.
That's yeah, that's
Yeah, you
fair. Nah,
remember
you
that.
were you were always a genius. I mean, you always like you always had those spelling skills. I was like, there's one person I gotta worry about. It's probably Timmy IK. You know how it is.
Hey, appreciate that, man. But you were nice too. I'm not surprised you got into Stanford. When I heard you got into Stanford, like I wasn't shocked. I was happy for you, but I wasn't surprised at all because I was like,
The
Neil's
same
like,
thing,
nice like that.
same thing for Penn. It's like, yeah, that Timmy would fit right in. What I gotta ask, so what program? What do you? No, you told me you're in Wharton, right? You're at Wharton.
Yeah, I'm in Wharton. Yeah.
Okay, are you in the M&T program by any chance?
No, I'm not. I have some friends who are in it, but I'm not in it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're just straight business school.
Yeah, just regular
Got
Wharton.
it. So what are you trying to major in then?
I mean, for Wharton, we have concentrations, but I mean, it's kind of similar. But I'm thinking about finance and marketing.
Finance and marketing. That's a fun one, man. Oh shoot, you're gonna have a good time with that. It's a lot of math though. You like? Yeah, I do remember you liking math. Remember the around the world we would play?
Yeah.
This is some real like pulling deep from the memory, man. This is some
uh,
whack stuff. Mr. Beck going around the room. 4 times 8, 9 times 3, 10 times 12. You know, it's just so random. There would always be so many things going on at the same time.
yeah. Oh man, I loved Around the World, man. Yeah, that was such a fun game.
I'm sure you loved it. You were always fast with it. Like you're always as soon as you said a trigger finger, like you got the answer right there.
Yeah, yeah, I was nice, but I mean, once again, you were also nice too. So I had to make sure I had to look out for Neil and Pavin, who would be, you
Oh,
know,
Pavin.
yeah,
Pavin's a character. He's at
yeah.
UT Austin right now, by the way.
Oh wow, okay, that's cool. Shout out to him. Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's doing well. He's doing well.
mm. Yeah, as expected. That's what I expect from him. So
Yeah, nothing less. Nothing less
yeah,
from him. No, but he
yeah,
he got into a really good program. It's called the CSB program. So it's computer science and business combined into one. Um,
mm.
very competitive. Very, very competitive. He was able to get in. And ultimately that was he thought, he felt that was the best decision for him and, it served him well. So he's been there for the past so he was actually allowed to go in person. So he's been there
Mm.
for like he's been at UT Austin longer than I've been at Stanford, even though, we started at the same time type of thing.
He's been there longer, as in he's been on
On
campus
campus,
longer.
yes, on campus. On campus, that's right. I was gonna say, like, this is just such a weird trip down memory lane. Like, never in a million years would I've imagined that, we'd be reminiscing about our days back in Kirk Elementary. Like it's such a foreign feeling. It's like an out of body experience because I don't know about you, but I haven't thought about it in so long, especially because of the fact that I had a few friends from Kirk, traveled through with me. So it was like I never really thought about who I lost in a sense, like who I don't keep up with that Kirk. It was just never something that crossed my mind. Now that you and I talk, and you were one of the people who we lost contact with, it's like, dang, like that was centuries ago.
Mm. Yeah, the point you brought up, like you haven't really thought about Kirk. It makes sense for you because, like you said, in our school district, you generally people from the same elementary school generally go to the same middle schools, and they generally go to the same high schools. So you've been with some people since they were 5 years old through age 18.
Right, right.
But for me, it was kind of I don't think about it often, but every now and then, like whenever I see someone post on IG, it kind of comes into my mind because I left in third grade in 2011, and I went to a different country and a different continent. So there wasn't like that sense of closure, you know.
Dude, it's such a I don't know. I'm glad I'm thrilled to see you again. It's just been I do remember though. I will say this: you had a birthday party, and I'll tell you, or not a birthday party, you had a birthday dinner. You came back to America. It
Mm.
was was it at Black Walnut Cafe?
It was at Cafe Express, I think.
Okay,
Cafe
I remember it
Express.
being a cafe. I remember it being a cafe, but it was right in city
Yeah.
center. I remember showing up. You were there. Tanner was there. I was there. I feel like Jaden might have been there. Bunch of people were there. So you had already gone to Abu Dhabi, right? Come
Yeah.
back, have this dinner. That was wraps. I was like, okay, Timmy's like he's in the wind. He's gone. But I gotta ask you, like, how was Abu Dhabi? How did that treat you? That your entire life, like, did you I don't know, assimilate, learn the language, pick up on the culture, miss anything? Like, just what was that? What was that experience like?
I have so many different thoughts about it that it's just hard for me to put them together in an organized way. But I mean, I was there from 2011 till I should have been gone mid 2020, but because of COVID, I couldn't go back to Penn in the first semester. So I was there
Mm-hmm.
from summer 2011 till January 2021. And
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, it was a really cool experience. Very international environments. You're meeting people from all across the world, which sounds like something you'd write in a college essay, but it's just genuinely it's true. Like more than
Yeah, yeah, I know
70.
what you mean.
Yeah, super diverse environment. I started learning a bit of Mandarin. I can speak a little bit of that. I did that in high
Dang,
school.
dang.
Yeah.
Did you learn Arabic?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it was compulsory up until a certain
Mm.
grade, but I wasn't nice with it. Like I can't speak Arabic. I know some words. I know the alphabet, but like, I'm not.
Nice, nice.
I'm not nice like that. So,
Oh, that's solid, man. That's
but
awesome.
yeah,
What
yeah.
what what was the factor that motivated you to come to school in America? Why did you not want to stay international?
Well, I mean, several reasons. I wanted to go to a good school and a good school with a business program, and Penn has that, so it made sense for
Where
me
do
to
you
apply
get
to
better than
Penn.
that? Like, where do you get where do you get a Wharton? There's no equivalent of that.
Yeah, Wharton is definitely for business. I mean, it's definitely up there for sure. And then on top of that, I'm American as well, so I'm eligible for financial aid in America. I'm kind of familiar with America. I like the vibe of American colleges, so it kind of made sense for me to apply to. I applied to some schools in the UK as well because it's an easy application, but
What
it
is
made
that?
sense
That's
for me.
like did you apply to LSE?
No, I didn't apply,
Or is that
but I know.
only can you go to LSE as an undergrad? You can,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah,
have friends
okay.
at LSE. Yeah,
Okay, okay. But then Cambridge, Oxford, did you apply to those?
no, I didn't apply to those schools. I applied to some other ones, but
The only
yeah,
other big international, I know King's College, that's about it. Like
yeah.
I don't McAllister, I think is up in you know which one I'm talking about? The one up in Europe.
I haven't heard of
Sure.
McAllister, but my best friend from high school goes to King's College. So
Dang,
yeah,
that's live. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then what I'm not here to ask you where you got and where you got rejected from. Obviously, I'm just curious. Like, of the, I know for a fact that you would have had options. It's not like you only got independent, got rejected from everywhere else. Like, I know that's not true, but I'm curious, what was it that led you away? And I know you briefly touched on this with the whole business school American vibe, but
Mm.
of the American schools that you got into, what was it kind of that drew not only just drew you to Penn, but drew you away from the other schools that you didn't choose? What were those factors like as an international student?
Yeah. So, I mean, in the context of, I live internationally, but in the context of American college admissions, like I'm not an international student because I have a U.S. passport. But
Oh, you didn't apply as an international student?
no, because I'm from the U.S., so I'm not
Oh,
eligible.
shoot. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I just live abroad, but I'm still American, so I'm still like domestic.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But to answer your question, when we went on a college tour for my sister, and I think it was like 2016, so she was maybe 15-ish. I think I was 14. She was like 15 or 16. Um, we went to schools in the Northeast, and then I knew I was interested in business, and then I saw Penn, and we did an information session there and a tour there, and I was like, yeah, this is somewhere I definitely want to go to or apply to.
Good for you, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, so from the jump, Penn was my top choice. So I got into my top choice. It was kind of a no-brainer, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I same here. Once I got into Stanford, I pulled my apps from. Well, I didn't. I applied to four schools. I applied to Stanford, um, UT Austin, UC Berkeley, and UCLA. I
Mm,
let those applications continue. I mean, like I kind of pulled out of one at Berkeley a little late, but the other three, I let them through. I had a bunch of other, essays ready to go because see, Stanford came out on December 6th of 2019.
mm,
The apps were due for all the other schools by like December 31st. So assuming I
mm.
hadn't gotten into Stanford, I wasn't about to crank out 40, 50 essays in 20 days. Just wasn't going to be possible. Like, you know how it was. I kind of front loaded a few of the or backloaded a few of the essays, started a little bit early, but I never submitted them because once I got into Stanford, in fact, I committed. I believe it was that same day is when I
Mm.
committed. Yeah. The
Wow.
only reason I didn't pull the other apps is because I was seeing what I could get financially. So
Mm.
not full disclosure, I didn't get any financial aid, which kind of sucked because I was kind of hoping for like some. I got a few. I got scholarship, but no aid or anything. But
Mm.
um, I'd committed to Stanford, but which I'm not sure if this is allowed. I don't know if you can like uncommit, but I was just curious to see like what aid would be offered, and then I could take it to the Stanford office, be like, hey, I've committed. Can you match this? That kind of thing.
Mm.
But the applications were only there for the four universities, nowhere else. So kind of the same thing. Once you get into your dream school, there's no point in applying anywhere else. Why put yourself through that extra work of writing the essays, doing the apps? There's no reason.
Exactly. It's just a lot of extra hassle.
It
You
becomes
applied
busy
to,
work at one point.
hey, yeah, for sure. I went through all of that, and because I got into Penn regular decision, so
Oh, you
yeah.
okay? Wow.
Man, I'm happy with Penn because that was my
Of
top
course,
20.
no, sure, sure. There were actually a few. There's two people that I know, really close. They're both from Houston, who both got into MNT.
Mm.
Yeah, both of them. And I remember one of them called me like, "Yeah, what should I do, MNT or Stanford?" I had committed to Stanford at that point, so I was like, "Okay, this is kind of a biased answer." But truth be told to me, not gonna lie, choosing between such fabulous schools like Penn, especially for that business guy, that business is just out of this world. And then just Stanford, it was such a, and this is not to sound like some elitist, like, oh, all the top universities. No, it's a great position to be in. Like,
Mm.
no, God forbid you have to choose between Stanford and Penn, but it's also one of those things where you're weighing the clear advantages of one school against the other,
Mm.
and it puts you in a little bit of an awkward position. He ended up choosing Stanford. Both of them ended up choosing Stanford actually, but
Mm.
M&T was, it was either going to be for me my early school Stanford or MNT, or I guess
Mm.
MNT isn't the school, Penn is the school, but the MNT program. So
Mm.
I've always loved, been a huge fan of the what is it, the Quakers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
y'all got the show. I'm about to embarrass myself to a Penn student. What is it? It's like a logo with the P on it. I believe the P is red, then a and then a blue and white kind of like shield emblem.
Yeah, it's like I don't think the P is on the official school logo. It's on merch, but it's like
Oh, okay.
some sort of like arrow shaped thing with
Hmm.
like I think there's a fish on it and then there's a book. I should know better, but
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, now it's coming to me. Yes, that's right. That's
yeah,
right. I bought this
yeah.
one shirt from Penn. I wear it all the time. It's back at home.
Uh,
But yeah, grade 12. I visited there. Absolutely amazing. I love the Okay, you know what? You'd know about this. You know how you have. Okay, I'm gonna try to remember this. Um, let's say I'm facing this way. Okay, I'm facing this way. You have
mm.
the Wharton School of Business on the left side. It's like this beautiful glass tower. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Wharton School,
Oh
the left
yeah,
hand.
the building, right?
Yeah, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous building. We weren't allowed to go in, but it was a beautiful building.
Mm.
I'm sitting right here. I'm looking down on the left. On that same side of the street, on the left side of the street, but way farther down, is the engineering quad, right? It's named after an Indian guy. Um, do you know what I'm talking about? There's like a lab.
Mm,
Let me see.
I need to look it up. Uh, I'm still kind of new to the campus, so I don't know everything like that. But
Fair, fair. I'm trying to let's see.
yeah,
Well, that's where I was when I went to Penn. Breathtaking campus, man. God, it was just absolutely beautiful. It's you're right in the city. I mean, shoot, I mean, you can't get a better spot than that, man. That's just ideal.
yeah, I love the city feel of Penn. I've been to Stanford, and I really like the campus is really pretty, very picturesque, all that. It's a little tucked away in Palo Alto.
It is. It is.
Yeah, still a nice place though. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
no, it's absolutely beautiful. Fountain hopping, uh, hiking, is anything outdoor. Dude, I don't even care to disclose. I don't even care to like hold it. It's like before this call, like as I was just getting stuff ready, I was just shirtless because I've been outside so much. My skin has become like completely burnt. So it's like hurting to even put on a shirt. So it's like
Mm.
you got two extremes, right? Sit inside all day, do nothing, or be outside all the time, get completely sunburned, and then face these problems. So, but that's what Stanford is. Like everything is so outdoors. You're like you eat lunch, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner outdoors. You do things outdoors. You don't stay in your dorm. Your dorm is just, I mean, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Yeah, you're in your dorm, like talking with your friends and stuff. But truth be told, at least here at Stanford, I'm sure the culture is different across different universities.
Mm.
But here at Stanford, nah, the dorm is a place to sleep and maybe get some work done. But other than that, it's all outdoors. And especially here in the summer now.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember it back from elementary school. And I don't know if I was like this back in elementary school, but I'm a big like shorts and t-shirts kind of guy. Just throw something on and move on. I absolutely despise wearing pants. So you'll see me just around campus in shorts and t-shirt, but it fits, it with this type of weather wouldn't make sense to wear anything else. But at Penn, it gets like stupid cold in the winter. Um,
Mm.
you get the beautiful snow. Um, just you got the river running through, right? I remember we crossed over a bridge. There's a river.
Yeah,
Um,
Schuylkill River. Yeah,
what's it called?
Schuylkill. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but it's like
Kill.
Schuylkill River. Yeah,
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 beautiful. Dude, it's just generally, man. It's like I don't know. It's such two beautiful campuses, and then with Penn also, it's in the middle of the city. I mean, you guys are right next to an
yeah.
industrial complex. I remember seeing like fumes coming out of these huge metal stacks. And I was like, this is
Mm.
perfect. You have access to the city, beautiful campus, nice weather. I don't know, it's paradise. You got the best of all the worlds.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a nice place to be. But that Cali weather you talked about, Cali gets a lot of love in this podcast and like previous episodes and stuff.
Oh, is that
And
so? You got some California kids on here, huh?
yeah, yeah, we had some. Yeah,
There we go. There we go. Any Berkeley kids?
not Berkeley. I haven't had anyone from Berkeley on the podcast, but people
Well,
from California I've had on the podcast though.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah,
you know how the whole Stanford Berkeley rivalry goes.
yeah, the big
Right
game.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, big game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I
yeah.
saw love for Berkeley, but I just gotta mess with them about it. That was fun. Anytime you see like a person in a Cal shirt, you just like mess with them. Anytime you see a person with a Stanford shirt, like a
Yeah.
Cal person sees them, it's like you mess with them. But It's one of those things like Penn and what is it? Penn's rival um is it Harvard? I feel like the entire Ivy League's rival is Harvard, but I think Penn and Harvard have something a little more deep seated.
I think it's. I think our rival was more so with Princeton, but I think it's more of a soft rivalry, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
okay, okay,
Yeah. Harvard and Yale had the rivalry, but I think Penn and Princeton is the rivalry.
okay.
But
You're a big
yeah,
sports guy. You like that rivalry?
I'm not a big college sports guy to be honest, but I'm a big like NBA guy. I follow the NBA.
NBA. Trey
Yeah.
Young, how you feel?
Hey, that's not nice to see, but hopefully he comes back quickly.
Hey, they're 2-2 against the Bucks. Giannis didn't play, and then well, he played, but then he got injured, and then
Mm.
Young was just out. Um, Not gonna lie to you, Timmy. I don't know where you fall on this. I gotta hear it after, but kind of want the Hawks to win just to see how Trey Young reacts, just to see him clown the entire NBA. I feel like it would be kind of funny. I keep up more with football than basketball, so to me,
Mm.
it's more of just like a friendly banter more than like, oh my God, the Atlanta Hawks won kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really follow football at all, but I mean, I really like to see Trey Young in the finals because he's one of those, as Stephen A. Smith would say, box office players.
Yeah,
So
he brings in the viewers, man. Shoot, it's one of the reasons I watch him. He's so
yeah,
cocky. It's the You gotta love the swagger, man. You gotta respect the confidence.
100%. Speaking of, you said you really like the outdoors culture at Stanford. I guess that kind of ties in with your passion for ultimate frisbee. So tell me about that.
Well, how do you know all this? You're very good at this. Like, did I tell you this, or like where'd you get this from?
You didn't tell me this, but I did my research. Let's just say that.
Dang, okay, I don't know where you got that from, but that is a very accurate portrayal. I do love ultimate frisbee. As a matter of fact, okay, well you won't be able to see, but my frisbee's sitting right there. I mailed my cleats over because we're starting like an intramural soccer club. But no, big frisbee guy. Absolutely love the sport. Um, I think that it's so conducive to play here, just because of the weather, just because of the vast amount of space, and like it's kind of funny because I have an Apple Watch and we have the activity rings on it. It's like pre-Stanford, I'd hit the goal a few days. Like I'd work out and stuff, but I was never like actively trying or anything.
Hmm.
And this isn't a flex, but like every single day at Stanford, I've nearly doubled the goal. The Apple Watch goals. Like I've nearly doubled that just because of how much outdoorsy things are going on all the time. Like you can
Hmm.
walk from here to the package center, for example, to pick up something, and see like five outdoor activities going on: biking, boarding, um, skating, ultimate frisbee, football, soccer. It's just everything is outdoors here. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
Hmm. Sounds like a whole movie. But the Stanford campus it's built for that kind of stuff. It's just so
That's right.
open.
It is built for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wanted to transition to your time at Cypress Ridge High. That's the high school you went to. It's probably the high school I would have went to. I would have gone to if I had stayed in
What
Houston.
neighborhood did you live in? Do you remember?
I was on.
You would have, yeah, would have gone to Cy Ridge. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your general experience like? Just tell me about it.
Love my high school. Had a great time. Go Rams. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Made a lot of friends. Made a lot of good connections. I cherish them. I absolutely love the staff. Super supportive. School had its flaws. We had our fights. We had our fair share of. But I think that's for every school. Fair share of crime, that kind of stuff. But like, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Just the support from the staff. Um, the freedom students were given to choose whatever they wanted to do, the
Mm.
ability to know that you could go up to a teacher or even another friend or another student and ask them and actually get real important advice. I loved it, man. It was rough at times, especially with like AP classes and all that. But again, that's any high school. It's not like Ridge is any different in that sense. But I think overall, the general ambiance, the school spirit, um, just the way the staff was not structured like you would imagine in a normal high school. There was a lot of um, it was a very casual culture. It was not like hello, ma'am. Great to see you today. It's my pleasure. It's, hey, how you doing? And I'm like that. Like if you and I were to meet each other, say for example, this, I don't know, we were meeting in person, I wouldn't be like, hello, Mr. Adike. It's my pleasure to meet you. I'd be like, what's up, dog, type of thing. Like that's just the type of person I am. So I really
Yeah.
appreciated, the fact that informality was actually valued over formality. Um,
Mhm.
it valued in the sense, sure, we knew when to not overstep the bounds, but in day to day conversation, you never had to worry about like, oh shoot, I forgot to call him sir, or oh no, I did this. What are the repercussions? There are no repercussions. You just do what you want, you have a good time, and you move on. I really like that culture, and I think that at Stanford there's a little bit of a more formal culture, um,
Mm.
but it's not stopping anyone. I mean, I'm still the way I am. All my friends are still the way they are. Like we've adapted to Stanford culture. I've learned, dude. I've learned so much just in this 8 9 days I've been here. I've changed, not in a bad way, but like there's been changes that wouldn't have happened to me in high school, for example. And that if I go to high school for a period of 8 days, would have paled in comparison to the 8 days I've spent here. It's just a very different vibe.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, Cypress Ridge, based on what I've seen from it, and tiny tidbits from people, seems like a
Mhm.
really good place. Just a really fun, dynamic place to be. And based on the description you gave, I think it's probably pretty accurate. Um,
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I missed it especially more when see we got sent home for COVID. We had Friday, which was spring break. That was it. We never went back.
mm,
And in that time, I was like, yeah, no school. We're chilling. I got to go to campus, Stanford. Like I'm excited. Well, you know how that went, right? That got
yeah,
canceled. So
yeah.
as I was going through Stanford online classes from Houston, I was kind of missing just the in-person thing of high school. I was like, I enjoyed high school. It's not like I just wanted to get it over with and just went through the motions just to get through. No, I genuinely had a good time. I enjoyed my time there, but I savored it even more when I realized that I couldn't get it.
Mm. Yeah, COVID definitely. I think we'll get into it later in the podcast, but COVID definitely makes you appreciate that in-person experience and the things that were taken away from you that you usually would take for granted in non-COVID kind of setting. But I want to ask you
100%.
about yeah, but I want to ask you about your speech at the Berry Center. So that's where you guys did your graduation ceremony for the class of 2020,
That was
and
so, yeah, continue. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, no, go ahead, give us some context.
No, I was gonna. It took me a while because the Barry Center, I've always any event that has ever taken place in the Barry Center has been indoors. We had an outdoor graduation, so I don't even. I'm trying to remember if it was the Barry Center where we graduated. I think it was because the Barry Center has the stadium. Um,
Mm.
no, you're right. You know better than I do. Yes, it was the Barry Center. It was the Barry Center. But continue. I was just trying to remember where it was because it was June of last year.
Yeah, that's already a year ago. It's crazy.
It's wild,
Uh,
man. The time has flown way too fast.
yeah, 100%. But there was I think you were an honor graduate, and they asked you to give a speech. So
Yes.
yeah, there's a particularly memorable quote that I have from it. And yeah, I think it's one of your opening lines. You said, "This is not a yoga class. This is the Cypress Ridge class of 2020, and we will take your breath away." And when I heard that, I was like, "Whoo, that's some bars, man. That's some bars."
Hey, respect, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. I don't
yeah.
know when I was asked to give the speech, I wasn't like, oh, like it wasn't one of those moments. It's like, okay, I can do it. But a lot of I mean, I'm sure you saw it. This is not hate to anyone. It's just we all have different ways of speaking. And for me, I preferred to just like I think that everyone was so like socially starved and just wanted to like see people. I don't. I didn't want to make it one of those shoot for the stars, like that kind of thing. Like I tried to,
Mm.
and I'm sure that a few of the jokes might have flopped. Sure, some kids are like, "What is this kid doing?" Like you can't please everyone, but for me,
Yeah.
I had, I enjoyed it more, um, by trying to infuse some humor into it. I found it more fun to write. Shoot, I found the speech more fun to give when it was like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for leaving, see, my high school is a bit more. It's not like this to them. It's not a good or bad thing necessarily, but I mean, I think my high school is a bit more like formal when it comes to giving speeches and stuff. And I don't think that would have been welcomed for a graduation speech there. But
Hmm.
personally, I enjoyed it. Like I like those kind of speeches. Like it makes you more personable, and they're more just more fun to watch and more fun to look back on. Like X many years later, from it, I don't know, the Cypress Ridge reunion. Maybe you could bring that
I
up.
appreciate that. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I guess we're on the same page in that sense. It's more fun to kind of like, infuse some humor here and there.
Mm. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Speaking of bars, I hear you're a big rap guy. I'm talking Kanye West, who you say is the GOAT, and then Blueface. Tell me about who you listen to.
What? Where do you stand? Kanye West is the greatest rapper of all time. That's an undeniable fact. That is not something that is up for. That is just the truth. I gotta hear you, Timmy. Where do you stand on that? Who is the greatest rapper of all time?
Huh. It's
And
a
and
hard.
okay, actually, no, I'm not gonna say. I just want to hear your response. I'm not gonna preclude it with anything.
See, it's a hard question. I have a friend from Penn who is a big Kanye enthusiast. We had him on the podcast a few episodes ago. But the greatest, see, for me, the greatest is a combination of how good your music is, but also commercial success.
Sure,
S-
sure.
But if you ask me who's the greatest, yeah, he's definitely up there. I wouldn't say he's the undisputed greatest though. You could definitely make a case for someone like Eminem or 50 Cent.
Dude,
Those
so
two.
glad you said that. I love Eminem. Eminem is, I think Eminem is the most lyrically advanced out of any rap. Like, okay, I gotta flex Eminem real fast. He goes in one song. It was a song with Kid Cudi. It
Mm.
was The Adventures of shoot. What was the name of the song? I forget what the name of the song was, but it's the one with on the Moon Man album. It was a recent one.
Mm.
Eminem and Eminem and Kid Cudi. He goes, this line is just it's just insane. Like I can rehash it so many different times. It never gets boring. But he goes like, now if if rap was b-ball. Wait, no, I'm not gonna screw this up because this is just too perfect. Give me a second. Sorry, you gotta give me a second. This is just too like chef's kiss perfect to mess up.
Now take your time, dog.
Okay. Now if rap was b-ball, I'd be Jordan like I don't know if this family friendly would, the B word. So if rap was b-ball, I'd be Jordan like blank. You wish
Mm.
you could score like this. Not even at half court I'd miss. I mouthwash I mouthwash because if I was on the floor, I'd swish. Let me
Ah.
break that down. Let me break that down. Okay, he hits you with the basketball bar. Okay, ties in Jordan because you can't have basketball without Jordan. If I was on the floor, I'd swish. Swish as in the net. Okay, but basketball fluoride, the thing that you brush your teeth with, and
Okay, okay.
mouthwash for swish. It's like a triple
That's
meaning. Like it just it's so beyond me how someone can come up with something like this. I don't know. Eminem is undisputed when it comes to lyricism.
yeah. I mean, wow. I mean, yeah. That's crazy. He's very technically sound, and also the speed at which he can rap at.
Oh
Like
yeah, the
that's just
speed is another
crazy.
one. Speed is another one.
Yeah, he's so articulate, but he's talking so quickly. Like I don't know how he does that.
Don't know how he does. I'll give you one more. This is another good one. He goes like, Shorty, you're sort of fine. You remind me of a 49er. Because if you was a gold digger, you'd be a wait. Oh yeah, you're so fine. You remind me of a 49er. Because if you was a gold digger, you'd be a minor. So minor as in like she's really young, really fine, but minor as in gold
Uh,
digger. But then 49ers of the California Gold Rush. It's just
uh,
there's so much packed into every single lyric. You know how you have some
uh,
rappers that like, you know, no disrespect. They put their hits out. They get these insane lines, but the rest of it is just like ad libs, classic girls, watches, coke, lean. You know how it is.
yeah.
Eminem, like, there's no empty lyrics. It's
Mm.
never a time when you just hear a lyric and it's just like, okay, it was said just to keep the beat going or to introduce something else. No, it packs a punch equally as strong as, some other rapper's strongest line. His every
Mm.
line holds that power, which is just bizarre to me because I know he doesn't have a ghostwriter because you don't like if you've seen his freestyles and stuff, you know that he is seriously gifted.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, Eminem is fair. I 100% respect that. Eminem has cemented himself. Like he is a legend forever, no doubt.
Yeah, Eminem is definitely the one.
He's the one.
Crazy talented.
Slim Shady.
Yeah, yeah, the real Slim Shady. Um, I also want to ask you more about Stanford because I know that the women's national or basketball team won the championship,
Geez, Timmy,
and
I'm very impressed with the way you keep up with everything. I'm still kind of in shock. Like you remembered feverishly, you remember Big Nate. You got this like lowdown on the graduation speech, man. Shoot, nothing gets past you. You're like a wall. I mean, once it's out there, you catch it. I'm very impressed.
thanks, man. I really appreciate you like complimenting my research. Like that's really nice. I appreciate
It's
that.
solid, man. It's very solid.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to ask you about. I mean, so Cameron Brink also plays for that team, and
Mhm.
Zaire Williams plays for the basketball team for the guys, and
Mhm.
those are two pretty prominent, college basketball players.
But
Did you ever
arguably the
get
most
to?
prominent. Or
Huh?
actually, that's not true. Cameron Brink is Steph Curry's goddaughter,
Mm.
and then um, uh, I believe her name is shoot, Russell Wilson's sister is on the basketball team also. I can't remember
Oh
her name.
wow.
Yeah, Kiana Wilson or Keely Wilson or wait, I'll tell you. Her name is okay. Yeah, her name is Anna Wilson and A Willie. Yeah, Anna Wilson. So
Mm.
you got freaking Russell Wilson's sister, Steph Curry's goddaughter, and then like consensus All Americans like Haley Jones on the
Mm.
same team. What do you expect? What do you expect? Like that's just insane. And then I think the men's basketball team had a little bit of a rough year. But I believe Zaire Williamson has entered his name in the draft. I think he just forewent his entire undergraduate career. Took 1 year for freshman season, but I believe he's entered the draft if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he has. I think he's listed as a first rounder, maybe a lottery in mock drafts, but
Okay,
definitely a
okay,
first rounder. Yeah,
that sounds fair.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I know Stanford has a strong, obviously a very strong academic history, but a strong sports history as well. So I know
I'll
the
flex
Lopez
Stanford a little.
brothers.
We have
Yeah.
the most NCAA um, Division One title trophies out of any school in America.
Oh
This
wow.
most trophies, yep, most championships across all sports. We also do have 36 sports, so we do have
Mm.
more than other schools. But go Stanford, right? Go Card.
The Cardinals, Cardinal gang. You know
Yes,
the
sir.
vibes.
Yes, sir. You know how it
Yeah.
is.
I want to transition to the Oluswole Bowl. That's the part of the podcast where we ask you some off the cuff questions that might be somewhat related to what we're talking about or completely unrelated to what we're talking about. So I'll just
All right,
fire away.
see it.
All right. First question: what's something you wish you could have done as a Cy Ridge senior that you couldn't do because of COVID?
Uh, what would I wanted to have done? I would have liked to have participated in the Powerpuff game. Are you familiar with the concept of Powerpuff?
No.
Okay. So traditionally, the guys will play the football, the girls will cheerlead on the sideline. Powder puff is flipped. The girls play flag football, and you get guys dressed up in a bunch of cheerleader costumes, and you make a complete fool of yourself, like going crazy on the sidelines. So it's just like a gender swap for football, but it's a really fun tradition. Well, it's
Mm,
happens every year, but of course, because of COVID, it was canceled. Would have been quite fun though.
that's pretty cool. Just as a side note, one thing I really like about Cy Ridge and American schools in general is that you guys have a really strong sense of school spirit and tradition.
Mhm.
My school has only had six graduating classes. The sixth one just graduated this year. So we're
Wow.
still a pretty new school. So we don't have that. We don't have like traditions that we go to every year in the same way you guys do. That's something I wish I kind of had.
Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
it's no, it's a lot of fun. It makes the experience much more enjoyable.
sounds like it. And then secondly, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh God, shoot. I don't know. What's the best compliment I've ever received? Oh, Timmy, you really put me on the spot. Shoot, I didn't realize it'd be like that. I thought it was gonna be like, um, uh,
No pressure.
no, there was this one. It wasn't even that it was a good compliment. It was just the way it was said. It was said like about a year ago. It was like, oh, I okay. So I think one of them was it was about my high school speech, and we were playing Xbox, like me and a few of my buddies. We were on at like 3 a.m. and then something came up where we said something in game that was like a quote from my speech, like completely separated. So if I had said
Mm.
like in my speech on me, like there's a guy on me, and then like in the game we say on me, there was some connection. And they go, I still remember that. Like that speech slapped. I was like, yeah, that made me feel pretty good because
Uh,
I was pretty happy about that. That was a fun time.
yeah, that speech was goaded. I'm not gonna lie. I
I
enjoyed that.
appreciate that, Timmy. Really do. Really do.
Yeah, yeah. And last but not least, if you were to get rid of one U.S. state, which one would it be and why?
Mm. So what is so when you when you say get rid of, let's say I choose to get rid of Texas. I'm just for example. Does that mean the state of Texas combines with like Oklahoma and New Mexico? Like does the state just like not exist anymore, or is it just absorbed into other states? Or what does get rid of constitute?
You know, I actually never thought of it like that, but I guess you could say get rid of means it's no longer a part of the U.S. because it exists as its own.
Okay, okay. So which state would I feel? Can you re-ask the question one more time? I want to see how you phrased it.
So I'll just rephrase it a little bit. I'll just say like if you were to choose one state to remove from the U.S., which one would it be and
Oh,
why?
okay, okay, okay. Well, I will say I don't know if this is not the answer, but I will say like Texas has had talks of secession. You know how Texans are. Like we love trying to get rid of get out of the U.S. But no, that's an interesting
uh,
question. What state would that happen to? Maybe I feel like I would say like any really affluent state, just because I know they'd be able to support themselves. Which one? Take your pick. New York, Oregon, California, Washington, like all these big rich states. I guess even Texas. Texas is a pretty rich state.
mm.
Um, Really interesting question though. Not totally sure to answer that. But I would say like if they were going to secede or if they were going to leave the United States, you'd at least want them to be like somewhat self sufficient. So I think anything rich, you gotta love utilitarianism. You know how it is.
Word. Yeah, I mean, I do know what Texans are like when it comes to Texan pride and Texas could be its own country and stuff like that. I'm not. I am from Texas, but I was born on the East Coast, so
Where were you
um,
born?
I was born in Philly.
How do you know that? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah. I
Meek
mean,
Mill fan?
am I what fan?
Meek Mill?
Meek Mill. I know he's from Philly, but I don't listen to a lot of him. I listened to that song with him and Drake. Going bad.
Going bad. Going bad's a good one. Going
Yeah,
bad's
I got more slaps than the Beatles. Yeah,
yeah. Don Corleone.
yeah,
That's a banger. That's a banger.
yeah. Philly has a lot of legends: Kevin Hart, Will Smith, all of them.
Oh yeah.
Meek,
Billy puts them out, man. Billy
for
just
sure.
churns them out. Churns them out. I got you,
Yeah,
buddy. And next up,
I appreciate that.
putting the city on the map. Not that it's not already big enough, but it is. You blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Shout out Philly. Shout out the city. Brotherly love. Going
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think this wraps up today's episode. Thanks for coming on, Neil. It's cool having you
Thanks
on
for
the
having me,
pod.
man. Great talking to you. Stay in touch, man. Jeez, like this whole COVID thing screwed up so much communication. Great talking to you. I'm glad I was invited. I was glad I was able to make it. Had a great time talking. Rehashing the history. But yeah, super enjoyable. Really loved it. It's great to see you, bud.
Yeah, great to see you too, man. We'll definitely keep in touch. This was a wild trip down memory lane, especially for us too, and maybe for if any Houston people are watching this who knew us when we were coming up. I mean, it would be a cool trip for them too. Yeah,
If the people I texted ever respond back, I'll get them on a call with you. I was worried because I was wondering if you're still in Abu Dhabi or something. I was like, wow, this must be a really weird time difference for him. But you're in Pennsylvania, so what is it? It's like 6:40 there, so you're about 3 hours ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Oluswole is available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're also on TikTok, which is new development, so go run that up. And thank you guys for watching, and peace.